And folks, that's CTV News at 5. CTV News at 6 starts right now.
Tonight on CTV News at 6. It's a week since George Floyd was killed by police in Minneapolis, and the unrest on the streets of the United States continues. Ottawa comes up with over $2 billion to help Canadian cities and towns that are struggling with their revenues due to the pandemic.
I'm Ian Campbell in South Baymouth, where the Chi-Chi-Mon is running again, albeit only for essential services right now.
Our crew is always excited to see people and have people come on board. Obviously this year, we understand their focus is going to be on safety.
In Timmins, a man out for a jog on a local trail has a dangerous encounter with an aggressive bear.
I was lucky. I was carrying some bear spray with me. I managed to get out of my pack.
And our closing song tonight comes from the Wikwemikong Nursing Home on Manitoulin Island and a member of the staff who sings for the residents there.
Dear old daddy, rest his soul, left my mom a heavy load. She tried so very hard to fill his shoes.
CTV News at 6 with Brendan Connor, Marina Moore, and weather with Will Aiello.
Good Monday evening. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll be checking in with Marina Moore in just a few minutes, but we begin with the latest on the protests and rioting in the U.S. following the police killing of a black man in Minneapolis a week ago. After a weekend of fires and unrest, there were calls today for calm. CTV's Joy Melvin is in Washington.
You can still smell it. Just steps away from the White House, this storage shelter was set on fire last night. The National Guard called in to control a small group of protesters, setting cars on fire and looting. Officers used tear gas to thin out the crowd when the curfew had little effect.
We do not and we will not allow the continued destruction of our hometown.
What began as another day of peaceful protest over the killing of George Floyd at the hands of a white officer erupted again across America. In Philadelphia, they smashed storefronts, throwing rocks and Molotov cocktails at police. California's governor declared a state of emergency after scores of buildings were trashed and vandalized. The violence overshadowing a peaceful message many fear is being lost.
We want change. It's been too long.
And in the middle of all this protest, a deadly pandemic. For some, the threat is worth the risk.
I could be dead tomorrow if I walk on the streets and a cop doesn't like me, or I did something, or I look like I'm doing something wrong. He can shoot me right there.
Atlanta's mayor urging everyone to get tested.
Because there's still a pandemic in America that's killing black and brown people at higher numbers.